where is going the immersive video right now? Very difficult.
So, I mean, I think it's constantly evolving, especially because of the technology. I think it's great that people can have a 360 camera, you know, that attaches to their phone or that can fit in a very small way in their pocket, but I think that it's also important that professional cameras are getting cheaper. So when you have like a professional level camera like the Ozo, which won't be made anymore, but was totally impossible for your average creator to purchase at the price of $40,000, then that has a high barrier to entry. But with something like the Insta360, which is 4K, $4,000, you can conceivably make a really high quality piece and a high quality experience with it. So I think that you'll see more, and that will increase the diversity of voices, which is important in any form of storytelling. So I think it's on a good trajectory.
I would say it's finding its way still. It's finding what kind of experience it has to be or it's going to turn out to be. And I believe it's going to be part of filmmaking, it's going to be part of video games, it's going to be a lot of part of, for example, virtual tourism. So instead of paying a whole bunch of money to travel somewhere, why won't I just see the highlights at home, you know, without paying barely anything? And it's going to have so many more applications. I mean, for safety courses, for so many things, you can actually live. What would happen if just in the safety of your home or of your job? It's going to have so many applications. I still think there's a lot
the sound,
There's
360 spatial sound.
Spatial audio.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot to be discovered, and we're just in the initial phase of discovering what kind of narrative that has to change, because all our background of film was framing the parts that we wanted to tell, and not seeing that I have this in my hand, you know, and because you would cut it out, you would only go to the interesting parts of the story. But now the whole narrative is changing, and everything could be interesting in the story and could add to the story. So now the challenge is to make everything you put into the frame, which is everything.
This is an interesting space to be talking about this, because here we are standing here, but obviously over there you have beautiful sculpture, you have beautiful chandeliers here that the viewers can see at any given time and just kind of experience the presence of the room instead of just, they'll still hear us, but instead of just looking at us. Yeah.
I'm entering something that you made now motion, you move to the camera. In 360 this is not needed, because we already see your.
I know, but that way it's going to be much bigger.
Yeah, but we know that this is a new language. At your festivals, how do you manage this new language? Do you feel there's something new going on with the material that the people is sending you?
I mean, yes. I'm always excited when I see someone breaking a rule, because I believe that there still shouldn't be any rules. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. I think that I should take that back. I'll walk that back. I think there should be the rule of not to be too rough with your viewer, not to traumatize your viewer, not to move too quickly to cause motion sickness. But I think that it's you have to try it in order to see what works. A good example is The Protectors, that's playing here and we premiered last year. It's a piece that has cutting, it has a lot of camera movement, it has a beautiful tracking crane shot, drone shot at the beginning, and it works, you know. But 2 years ago, people would have told you, never, just don't do that. It's going to hurt people, but it's not true. So the language is evolving, and I think the only way to manage it is to experience it and see how it makes you feel and hope that it can evoke the same kind of emotion in the audience.
And how it's important also the audience that get to be used to watch VR during the festivals. how is important to have VR festivals and VR section in the festivals? Why is important?
Well, to make people aware first that it exists and that it's a new possibility. As we were saying, like a lot of traditional filmmakers are thinking of a project, and maybe the best way to tell that project is in a VR experience. So if you love action, you love like me and Oliver, who I always like, he's my partner in crime for everything, like festival and production, and we love action movies. And I think VR for that could be great. You'd really have to think about where to put the camera, because it can be really challenging, but when the language maybe is a bit more evolved, it could be the perfect way to like really experience the Bruce Lee, style, like right in front of you. So I really think you have to try it, as they said in the morning, like if you want to do VR, try a lot of VR. I still want to watch everything that's been going on in this room next to us and really experience.